I think our guys are excited, Dane. I think it's a long season, a lot of hard work, a lot of practices, a lot of off-season, conditioning in the weight room, and it's really about how you finish. That's what sports are all about. So our guys have had a good mindset. We've had a good practice yesterday. We'll practice again today, and then depart tomorrow. So I think our guys are excited. I think they understand what's at stake, and now you got to go out and play good basketball.
Game's kind of a shootout the first time around. Are you expecting that again, or you could come to that?
Oof, that was a lot of points scored inside the Beagley. I know that. I think every game is different, Joel. That game was, definitely a different type of game. We won that game with our offense, and that was a wild, wild game. They didn't have a lot of their guys. So just looking at it, we watched it a couple nights ago. Just, it was a strange game. So I don't know. I think our defense has to travel. We got to be performing at a high level. Certainly can't give up that many points and expect to win on the road. So the guys understand that. But we'll be ready. I think our guys have put a lot of time into this thing and overcome a lot. So to have an opportunity to possibly finish second, but then on the flip side have the possibility to finish seventh, I think it shows you how competitive this league is and how competitive it's been all year and how competitive it will be in this tournament. Well, I think Grant Basile and Tanner Holden are really high-level players. Tanner leads the country in free throw attempts, so that presents a lot in itself. He's a great cutter. He's great in transition. He's a great post-up player. He's really gotten better each year. He's got great size for a wing player, and I think he's a really smart player. And then Basile presents a lot of problems because he can do a little bit of everything. He can play on the perimeter at 6'10". He can play inside and dominate the low post. Those two guys are certainly the head of the snake. But Finke is a really, really good defensive player. So is Trey Calvin. Calvin's another guy that's gotten better each and every year. Norris and Braun are having great years for freshmen. I expect those two kids to get a lot of attention on the all-freshman team. So they're a balanced team. They're the number one offensive team in the conference, and I think they're fifth or sixth in defense, according to the numbers. So they've got a nice balance of players.
How do they attack with that balance?
Their attack is inside out. They're going to throw the ball inside. They're going to play to their strengths. That's what most good teams do. And their strength is inside, and that opens up the outside for them. So you got to be really, really good guarding the post. You got to be really good in transition because they do get out and run. And those are certainly things that we've been trying to work on the last couple of days.
Here, these are two teams that are ahead of you, and pressure's not the word I want to use, but is it more on them, more on you guys? They're at home. Both these teams are at home. They're both ahead of you.
Yeah, I don't think there's pressure, Dana. I think it's, you put yourself in a position after 5 years to try to continue to move our program, and that's what we've tried to do from day one. And now's the time to take that next step, I think. Wright State, Northern Kentucky have been powers in this league for a long time. They've had great coaches, they've had great players, great fan bases. I have a lot of respect for both those programs. They have put a lot of money into their program. They've put a lot of stock in building up their fan bases because they've won so much. So we understand it's going to be a hostile environment at both venues. You have to play well on the road, but it's something our team has done all year. We've played in a lot of really cool venues, whether that's at Penn State, at West Virginia. So those environments hopefully prepare you for that. And we've had results. We have the most wins in the league on the road. So it's something we're not going to run from, but we also understand it's a major challenge. But all the games are challenging. So we haven't really approached it from a pressure standpoint, of more of an opportunity standpoint for our program and this year's team to do some things that haven't been done here. And that's really been our message for a couple weeks. When we got on that 6-game win streak, was like, listen, it's about how we finish. It's about what our body of work looks like at the end of the year. We want it to look different, Dana. We want to try to do something different here, and we're on pace to do that. But now, you got to take that next step.
Off subject, ESPN came out Saturday, I think it says fouls across the country for D1 level are down by maybe a foul and a half per game across the country. Have you seen that? Are games being called maybe a little loose?
I did see that stat. I haven't really noticed it inside our league. I will say this, Dana, our league plays more zone than any conference in the country, I think. I don't know statistically. Really should make that comment, but I feel like that as a coach. When you look across the board, that was one of our major studies in the off season is, what are the top defensive teams look like in our league? And a lot of them are a zone-driven program. They're mixing in a lot of zones. So a lot of times there's not as many fouls called when you play zone. So I don't think our league in particular has had that, seen that impact. But that was an interesting comment. I think, this time of year you're trying to play really hard. You're trying to give it your all. I think emotions are high, tensions are high, but I think you got to play smart. I think that's going to be the difference in whoever finishes strong inside our league with these 6 teams all battling for 6 spots. Who can play good basketball on both sides, but also the keeping teams off the foul line is going to be a big key to our success on the road. So we got to play at a high level with our intelligence. Just as importantly is how hard we're playing. So, but that's interesting.